Now, I'm someone who has the free hit chip intact, and I'm not that much keen on using it in game week 29. I'll tell you why. Just because they are missing Mathis Kuna, that's why his potential is getting a bit downgraded. These are the two players who helped me climb the ranks, along with Munoz and Henderson, because they were the differentials. Hey guys, welcome back to another video from the Football Herd. Hope you're doing wonderfully well. This is a game week 29 players to buy video, in which I'll be talking about 9 key players whom you should bring in for game week 29. I'll be talking about 3 midfielders, 3 defenders and 3 attackers who are very pivotal for capitalizing on this blank game week. I'll be also discussing about the pros and cons of free hitting in game week 29, or whether you should free hit in game week 34. And I'll be also giving you a glimpse of my game week 28 team, which fetched me 78 points, and my current rank stands at 47k. So I'm pretty excited that I have got this rank. And so if you do like this video, please do drop a like and subscribe to my channel. That will mean a lot to me. So without delaying any further, let's get started. So this is my team for game week 28, which fetched me 78 points. The average points was 52. So I was pretty comprehensive, and I had a quite decent green arrow. And in goal, Henderson gave me 10 points. He was amazing in my opinion with 7 shots. And he was very pivotal, in fetching this rank for me. And Aitnuri was someone whom I brought in game week 28, but he gave me a couple of points because they were unable to keep a clean sheet. Now followed by Munoz. Munoz gave me 6 points thanks to the industry of Henderson and the Palace keeping a clean sheet. It was very crucial. And Trent again with a disappointing 2-pointer. Now coming to the midfield, in midfield Kirkes gave me 5 points because he contributed with a brilliant assist, and Mohamed Salah again chipping in with 15, and he was my captain. I was lucky to not captain Cole Palmer. He fetched me 30 points, and again Cole Palmer missing that penalty was shambolic in my opinion. He is someone who has now blanked in 6 game weeks, correct me if I'm wrong, and Mbeumo also chipped in with a couple of points. So that comprises of my midfield. And when we talk about the forwards, again, barring Alexander Isak, both Joao Pedro and Watkins chipped in with 9 points. Now, these are the 2 players who helped me climb the ranks, along with Munoz and Henderson, because they were the differentials. And I'm pretty happy to crack the top 50k, and the surge for the top 10k is still valid. Now, I'm someone who has the free hit chip intact, and I'm not that much keen on using it in game week 29. I'll tell you why. Now, firstly, that we have only 4 teams who are blanking in game week 29, whereas there's a probability of at least 6 to 7 teams who are blanking in game week 34. Now, we have to wait for further news regarding all the scenarios for the game week 34 blank, and I believe that there is a greater upside if you play the free hit in game week 34, provided you can field a 10-man lineup also in game week 29. Now, by a 10-man lineup, I mean that if you are not able to field at least 7 to 8 players, in spite of using all the free transfers, then I will not recommend you, doing a -12 or a -8 also. Till -4 is fine with me if you can field at least 10 players and you can play without a goalkeeper. In my case, I do not have a goalkeeper, so I have Henderson. And Henderson does not have a game week in 29, so I'll be not moving him out, because they have a very favorable fixture in game week 30. So having said that, I'm someone who's leaning towards taking a -4 hit and fielding 10 players in game week 29, and abstaining from playing the free hit in game week 29 and playing it in game week 34, because there's more ground to be made in game week 34, just like I mentioned. Likes of Arsenal, Southampton, West Ham United, then Palace, Bournemouth, Forest and Brentford, all of them have a possibility of blanking, and similar for someone like Aston Villa and City also. So I believe I will be not playing the free hit in game week 29, but having said that, if you are willing to play the free hit, I'll be showcasing a very decent draft to you guys, which I believe is amazing. And if you are at all playing a free hit, then this is the team that I will recommend you guys to opt for. In goal, I have gone with Jose Sa. Now, since they have a Southampton fixture and the Southampton have looked shambolic of late, that's why it's pretty certain that I will be targeting the Wolves as a Southampton fixture. And in my defense, I have gone with Aitnuri. Now we all know that he's playing out of position and he's a brilliant asset to own, and if you already have him, it's like I already own him, so I am having a quite decent advantage, I would say. Now coming to the next pick, that's Ola Aina. Now Forest have been scintillating. You saw the glimpse of the compact and solid Forest defense in the City victory also, and it's a no-brainer, to have some Forest cover in your defensive lineup. Now coming to the third pick, that's none other than Guardiola. Now having said that, Guardiola is a tremendous pick since he has that attacking potential. Now I believe that some of you might be not willing to invest in a City defender, but this template of Ait Nouri, Aina and Guardiola is the best for creating in Game Week 29 in my opinion. Now you can also play someone like Kirkez who has a Brentford home game, but I have kept Kirkez in my bench and I'm starting Guardiola. And in my midfield, I have a midfield four of Kluivert, Bruno Fernandes, Morgan Gibbs-White and Mbeumo. Now Mbeumo has a Bournemouth away fixture and Gibbs-White has an Ipswich away game, which is scintillating in my opinion, and the Forest should definitely win this one. And he has been in awesome form of late and chipping in with goals and assists, and Morgan Gibbs-White is a no-brainer since they face Ipswich in Game Week 29. And Bruno Fernandes is the best midfielder to own in your free hit draft in Game Week 29, just because they face Leicester, and Leicester have been leaking goals galore, which is clearly evident from the fact that they are ranked 18th or 19th in the expected goals conceded in the first 28 games. And in my forwards, I have gone with Wissa, Wood and Haaland. And Wissa, again, I'll be keen to double up on the Brentford assets. But if you're not that much keen on doubling up on Brentford assets, then you can also opt for someone like Jared Bowen, who is the first placeholder in midfield bench. You can play a 3-5-2 with Wood and Haaland leading the line, and a midfield of Kluivert, Bruno Fernandes, Gibbs-White, Mbeumo and Bowen. So I believe this is a very flexible and robust lineup, and it's up for grabs if you want to have that upside of playing the free hit in Game Week 29, and this is a very ideal draft in my opinion. So do let me know whether you like this draft or not. I kind of love this draft, and be it 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, both works for me. Now in this section, I'll be talking about 9 players, 3 from each of defender, midfielder and attacker. If you have a lot of free transfers, just like I have 3 free transfers, I'll be utilizing all of them, and from this universal set of 9 players, I'll be opting for 3 players, rather 4 players, because I'll be taking a -4 hit. You can also take a look at these players because they are very fundamental and important to own currently if you want to maximize your Game Week 29 points. Now the first player in my defensive watch list or players to buy is none other than Ait Nouri. He has already contributed 2 assists, and from 5 shots he has not scored any goals, and he's created 2 big chances and with an XGI of 1.2, and he has a percentage goals involvement of 22%, and he has already amassed 32 points, averaging 3.2 points in the last 10 game weeks, which is amazing in my opinion. And not only does he pass the stat test, he also passes the eye test in my opinion. Just because they are missing Matheus Cunha, that's why his potential is getting a bit downgraded. But having said that, I believe they also have that clean sheet potential against Southampton. So he's someone who is a must-have in Game Week 29 in my opinion. Now coming to the next player, now this is also a very decent shout, but I will not recommend him straight away like I am recommending Ait Nouri. But having said that, if you already own Gabriel, then you should stick with him, because he has an expected goals involvement of 0.9, which is pretty high, and he also possesses that goal scoring threat from set pieces. And off late, Arsenal have not that much looked menacing from the set pieces, but in the longer term, if you're using a free hit, if you're not using a free hit and if you're using a transfer, then having an Arsenal defender is something that I will recommend. That's why I have opted for Gabriel as my second player, and he's already amassed 32 points in the last 10 game weeks, which is pretty decent in my opinion. Now coming to the third pick, that's none other than Ola Aina. Now Ola Aina has already got 1 assist and has 1 shot, but he does not have any goals to show for. but he is from the formidable, and compact lineup of Nottingham Forest, who are, playing amazing football in my opinion currently. You all saw what he did in the last game against Manchester City. He was not only solid, but also he was making those overlapping runs down the right, and he was having very nimble feet, and he was very good at controlling the ball closely. And in my opinion, Ola Aina is someone who is a no-brainer if you want to have a Forest defensive cover. So he completes the defensive third player in the players to watch for Game Week 29. Now coming to the midfielders, among the midfielders, I have opted for Bruno Fernandes as my first pick. Now again, this is a no-brainer because he's in scintillating form with 3 assists and 3 goals from 20 shots. He's already created 3 big chances with an XGI of 4.1. We all saw how he single-handedly was about to finish Arsenal in the last game, where they were very unlucky in the 1-1 draw, I would say, because David Raya was outstanding. He was just right up there. Now, apart from the free kick error, I believe Raya was outstanding. He was unable to reach the Bruno Fernandes free kick, but someone like Alisson would have reached, in my opinion. But that takes nothing away from Bruno Fernandes, because he is someone who is the most pivotal player in United colours. Whatever United do is through Bruno Fernandes, which is completely evident from the fact that his percentage goals involvement is 46%. So that speaks for himself and speaks volume about the kind of importance that he holds. And they have a Leicester fixture, which is very lucrative. So opting for Bruno Fernandes is again a no-brainer. And he has already amassed 54 points in the last 10 game weeks with an average of 5.4. And he already has an XGI of 4.1, which is amazing in my opinion. So Bruno Fernandes is my first midfielder player pick. Now coming to the next midfielder, I would like to talk about Savino. Now, I believe Savino is a tricky pick because he is not nailed in the City lineup, but his place is dicey, a bit dicey, not too much I would say, because 2 players will definitely start from the list of Doku, Savino and Marmoush. And I believe that Savino and Marmoush gets the nod and Doku is benched. That's why there is a 60-70% chance that Savino starts in Game Week 29 also. Because he has been amazing of late with 5 assists in the last 10 games and creating 5 big chances with an XGI of 4.1 and percentage goals involvement of 57%, which is amazing in my opinion. So if now Manchester City have a very early kickoff, so you'll be getting confirmed news, so save one transfer and use it on Savino if you're getting any leaks of him starting. And you can maximize, and because he has a lot of upside in my opinion. So Savino is my second pick in midfield. Now coming to the third midfielder, that's none other than Morgan Gibbs-White. Now Morgan Gibbs-White has edged past Ilanga in my opinion with a couple of assists and 3 goals from 19 shots. He created 2 big chances with an XG of 3.5. Amazing numbers, and that is getting translated to points also. He has amassed 60 points in the last 10 game weeks. And he is the most important player apart from Elliot Anderson in my opinion, because he is not that much prone to FPL points. But footballing wise, Anderson and Gibbs-White are very, very important assets for Forest. And Morgan Gibbs-White is someone whom I will recommend you guys to have in your free hit drafts also. And if you're using your free transfers also, Gibbs-White is one of the most important assets to own in Game Week 29, just because they have an Ipswich away game, which is again a very easy fixture for them. Considering that what they did to City, it's an easy winnable game in my opinion. Now forward picks, the first pick is none other than Erling Haaland. Now Erling Haaland has already got 3 assists and 7 goals from 26 shots. He's already created 3 big chances with an XG of 6.7, and his percentage goals involvement is 39%. And he is not only performing well in the stats, but he's also passing the eye test. But having said that, he had a very disappointing outing against Nottingham Forest, because he was closely marked by Murillo and Milinkovic in my opinion. That's why he was unable to score. But that does not decrease his appeal, because he's facing Brighton in a home fixture, which should be a very enticing game for Manchester City in my opinion, and they should comfortably win. Now Haaland has already amassed 62 points in the last 10 game weeks with an average of 6.2 points per match, and he is one of those captaincy candidates in my opinion for Game Week 29. So he is again a no-brainer pick if you want to capitalize and optimize your team for Game Week 29. Now coming to the next forward pick, that's none other than Chris Wood. So Chris Wood has been phenomenal of late. He's already got a couple of assists and 8 goals from 20 shots in the last 10 game weeks. And they have an Ipswich game, and I believe that Chris Wood should score in that. And a forward two of Erling Haaland and Chris Wood is beyond optimal in my opinion for Game Week 29. If you have both of them, then you can expect a lot of points. I am someone who does not have either of them, but I'll be using my free transfers and bringing in both Erling Haaland and Chris Wood for sure. Now coming to the third pick, it's none other than Johan Wissa. Now Wissa has already amassed 4 goals and 2 assists from 35 shots and created 2 big chances, and he already has an XG of 7.5, which is insane in my opinion. But he has been underperforming, which is clearly evident from the fact that he has contributed to 46 points in the last 10 game weeks. Now, one thing is pretty certain in my opinion, that if you already have Mbeumo, then I'll be not recommending you to double up on the Brentford assets. But you can opt for someone like Chris Wood and Erling Haaland as your starting two in your forwards list. But if you do not have someone like Mbeumo, then bringing in Johan Wissa is optimal in my opinion. But having said that, if you already own Wissa also, then I will not try to bring in Mbeumo. I'll hold on to Wissa for this game week. That is what I'll be doing. So these are the 3 picks amongst the forwards which are the most suited and the best ones in my opinion. So do let me know if you feel the same and whether you are using the free hit in Game Week 29, because that is also a very dicey topic of late. So that's it guys, that was all about the Game Week 29 players to watch video, in which I had covered 9 players. And if you have liked this video, please do drop a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting the team selection and the best free hit draft if at all I make any changes tomorrow. So make sure you watch that video also. And all the best for Game Week 29. I'll catch you guys in the next one.